Man, Shinto is thirsty. Look at that dude.
Hello everyone, this is an analysis of the set Flame of Laevateinn for the Forest class. For any other class, you can find them in the playlist. So guys, let us start off with our first card. Guys, I won't be reading every card word by word. I will be summarizing the effect, summarize the pros and cons, and summarize how I feel the card will stand in the mana, or else it's just going to take too long of time. So our first card, Beauty and Abyss, it has Rush, Aura, and the potential ability to gain Storm, which is very good. And it's a big follower. And at 6 mana, it does have a very good stat, 5-7. So what I like about this card is the Aura and the Storm. Those two keyword combination is very broken, as you can see from Dragon with their Forte. And Forte has been netting very good result with those two keywords especially. And I think Beauty and Abyss is Beauty and Abyss most likely is gonna replicate Forte's result. Even though their Storm do require a little bit of setup, be it from Woodland Branch or at least from this set, or White Wolf from BPO2. And then the buff, right? The self buff is just a plus. If you have the extra mana, the buff to the stats is always good, but it's not required because 5 damage to the face is actually quite a lot. It is gonna put your opponent quite behind. And even if it doesn't have Storm, it's not end of the world because it does have Rush, meaning that if you play this from hand at 6 mana, it can come down and trade with something, and because of its stat, it's most likely going to survive the trade, and your opponent most likely going to use another 1 or 2 more followers to trade into this, because they can't actually remove this card using targeted effect or spell. So it really puts your opponent behind by tempo quite a lot. So this card is a very good tempo swing and a very good game ender, which I think Forest has been asking for quite a while. And finally side games give them Beauty and Beast that fits the shoe perfectly. How I see this card standing in the meta is that this card is very, very strong. In fact, I think this is the strongest card I see in this set, and I think you guys have to watch out for this card. I think he is gonna shape the next meta, how the next meta will be like. So that is Beauty and the Beast. Okay, next we have Cosmo Fang. It can easily combo with Slate or the Gerbera Bear. I think Gerbera Bear from this set. Is there any other beasts? I can't remember because if there is, it's not very noteworthy. So this card, what I don't like about it is that the evolve cost can be quite costly, and depending on what it chooses to return, if it's not evolve follower, you can't destroy it. So it is a soft remover. But I do have to add that what I was being told, that this fit perfectly with White Wolf. So you play this on turn 6. So you play this on 6 mana. Then you search for White Wolf, and with the last remaining mana, you evolve. If you have another follower to return to hand, you evolve and you can bounce back your opponent's follower or threat. And then right now, you put your opponent behind tempo and you have set out a threat on the board, meaning that your opponent have to answer the threat, which makes your turn 7 to be a open turn for White Wolf. So this card can combo with White Wolf very well, so meaning that I think you can see this card being played in with Beauty and the Beast as well. I think that's about it with this card. I think this card isn't broken, isn't good, it's just an alright card. I think most people will be playing at 1 or 2 cards in their deck. I think it will see play, but I don't think, it's just not a very strong card, basically. But you will see this being played. Okay, let's move on to the next card. Magical Fairy Liliac. So it's a hard remover and it's searchable remover. You can search with the Woodland Band or Alice in Wonderland. And no, it's not Alice, it's just Alice, not Alice in Wonderland. That's the set. Alice, yeah. From this set. The thing is it's a one-time usage, which is the same as every hard remover. So this is potentially a execution, just that it can be searched out. So you won't play this on turn 3 because if you play this on turn 3 at 4 defense, it can be easily removed. So most of the time, I think you'll be playing it on turn 4, where you play this, you tap this follower to add a fairy tale counter on it. You pay 1 counter and remove the follower, remove the fairy tale counter from this card, then you can destroy a follower. Yes, it can be used multiple times, but with 4 health, most of the time, it's just gonna get removed. And what I don't really like about this card is that Fairy Tale right now is a tempo deck, and this just doesn't screen tempo. I think this will see some play. It's a hard remover after all, but I don't think you'll be at a state of 3 piece per deck. I think most likely you'll be playing 1 or 2 pieces, and that will be sufficient. Okay, let's move on to the next card, Slate. So this is one of those few cards that were released in the entry deck, and people have been testing with it. The thing about this card is that it makes Bounce Forest playable, and the Evolve give you a free draw. True that the Evolve do requires a condition to be met, but the condition to be met can be quite easily because if Slate get bounced, it can actually summon itself from the hand, because the wording is that you just have to put a 2-cost or lower forest follower from your hand to field, and there's no restriction that you cannot summon Slate again from the effect. You cannot summon Slate from the effect, so you can bounce the Slate, and with the same Slate, you can come down on the field, and you can instantly evolve after that. So this card just makes Bounce Forest playable, and it's a pretty good card for that archetype. There's nothing else more to say than that. And let's move on to the next one, Elf Twin Assault. So a little bit of thing to highlight is that it's not choose 2 enemy followers, it's choose up to 2 enemy followers. I've checked with the translation, and it should be choose up to 2 enemy followers, meaning that if there's only 1 follower on the field, you're still able to play this card, or even with 0 follower, you still be able to play this card. But yeah, usually you play on 1 or 2 follower lah. You divide the X damage between them, which X equals the number of cards in your EX area. So meaning that even at 2 target is pretty good. Maximum 5 damage among 2 targets. The thing is, first of all, this card requires a lot of setup in order for it to be good. And once you reach the point that you're able to hit that 5 damage threshold, right? It's going to be late in the game where you have to remove 2 followers, and 5 damage split among 2 followers at that point isn't sufficient in my opinion. Yeah. The only good thing is that, yes, it's for 2 mana spell, 2 mana quick spell. It currently hits the highest damage that a spell can do for that 2 mana cost, which is 5. Currently, the highest right now is Surefire Bullet and the 2 mana spell card from Uma Musume, both of them dealing maximum 4 with the criteria met. Elf Twin Assault can deal 5 damage to 1 single target. But realistically, even if your deck is built around it, which I have tested, most of the time, it's more realistically that you're able to deal 3 to 4 damage only. And that is once you reach the mid game where 3 to 4 damage in that very ain't good enough for this card, in my opinion. That requires quite a lot of setup. So this card is just alright. I don't think this card will see much play unless people are building building to flood their EX area. I don't think this card will see much play. Yeah, that's about it lah. Let's move on to the next one, Abby the Ex-Girl. So 3 mana 3/4. it's alright stats. I think right now you see a lot of the 3 mana cards, their stats become a 3/4, which is good. Because a lot of removal right now deal minimally 3 damage. The problem I don't like with this card is it doesn't have rush, and it's hard to achieve the full potential where minimally you have to attack 3 times, and the third time you attack, then you prop the deal 2 damage to all enemy leaders. At 4 HP, it can be easily removed right now with Ulma, and any 3 mana evolve, they can trade with this card. And the main problem is that in that mana cost mana pool, there's a lot of the 3 mana card pool, there's a lot more stuff that is stronger than this currently. Like Rose Gardener, Ancient Flash, all this. So yeah, you rather most of the time at 3 mana, you rather play a 3 mana evolve follower than 3 mana with no evolve, because evolve is where all the good stats are, and that's where you are, trying to build more tempo or trying to come back with the tempo swing. So I think Abby the X-Girl is not going to see much play. It's just too hard to reach that 5 attack, and there isn't much buff spell currently for Forest to have, make this card very, very strong. So in the meta, I don't see people will be playing much of it. It's very, very unlikely. So next, Gebera Bear. So basically a Slate come out with in the entry deck. So you can heal easily by just bouncing this card. And it can, when you evolve, it thins your deck by searching the spell. So the spell is called Flower Breeze. The con is that, healing 1 is alright. It's not that big of a deal. And it's too costly as a bounce target. That's my opinion. So a lot of the bounce card, other than, Cosmos Fang that can cheat the Gebera Bear out, other of the bounce card, they are only good during the early game. And during the early game, you don't really have that much mana to spare. 1 cost is the best. So usually 1 cost card or 1 cost amulet are much preferred than Gebera Bear. Like such as Festival Harvest is a lot better as a bounce target compared to Gebera Bear. But I think people will still be playing this because it still helps you to thin your deck. So but I think like every deck will be playing 1 or 2. It won't be playing like a 3 copy. That will be too overkill in my opinion. Okay, next we have is a Wood of Brambles, a 1 mana amulet. So the good thing is it makes follower very, very good remover. Make your followers very, very good remover. Good remover, meaning that when they attack, they can trade without taking damage. Potentially not taking damage. And it can kill, it make your small followers can kill quite a lot of bigger stuff. But my problem is that it requires a lot of setup for this card. And your followers have to be able to attack their target. So if your followers aren't able to attack their target, then this card becomes useless lah, basically. Sadly it ain't Clash because the version in the digital is Clash, meaning that if you have Ward, the Ward will be very broken. But it's Strike lah. So I think this card is a very big question mark, in my opinion. The upside of this card is very, very good. But I think the setup for this card is just too much work. Yeah, so I don't know how this card will fit in the meta. In fact, I don't know if people will want to play this as a removal card, because first of all you use up 1 space, and second of all, yeah, you do have to you are required to trade with every follower. If you must be able to attack every follower in order to remove them. So a big question mark. I don't know. I don't really know about this card in the meta, but I can see if this card is if the setup is easily met, this card is gonna be a very good card. So let's move on to Flower Princess. It's a Fairy Tale card, 2 mana, 2/3. You spawn a fairy in your EX area, which is very good with the Elf Assault Twin, Elf Twin Assault. And if you combo 3, you can put a Fairy Tale counter in this on this card, which I think is near impossible to do with this card. Not say that you can't do it. It's just that you don't, as a Fairy Tale that you usually won't hit combo 3, and at that point of time you'll rather play other stuff than you to play her. But if you're able to set up and give her the Fairy Tale counter, such as playing the Woodland Band or Princess Faria, on playing this on turn 2 is actually very, very strong. So if you are able to play this on turn 2 and give the Fairy Tale counter and remove your opponent 2-drop follower, your opponent will be behind tempo by quite a lot. So this card is actually very, very scary once if you're able to set it up. And I can see this card being played as a 3-off in the Fairy Tale deck. There's one card you have to watch out for, I think. This is gonna make Forest Fairy Tale very snowbally. Once they're able to gain a tempo, I think it's very hard for you to come back against their play. Yeah, so this is one card to watch out for as well. Next, Third Sprite. It's just a bad card. It is a soft lock. Basically, your opponent can't attack. The target enemy follower can't attack. And it's only useful in a unique situation where you want to bot lock your opponent and you don't want their highest attack follower to attack you. And that's about it. I think this card is very, very underwhelming. And I don't think people will want to see this card. In fact, I think I don't think people will play this card at all. Yeah, I think people won't even want to see this card in their pack. This card is just so bad. And a 3 mana 4/3, and that's the problem I have with the stat. Why 4/3? If it's a 3 mana 3/4, it will still be much better. Meaning that this card is still quite hard to remove. But 3 mana 4/3, this card will just easily be removed by a lot of 2 mana removers. Yeah, so I think this card is very, very bad. So let's move on to the next one. Tweedledum, Tweedledee. Okay, this card is a very specific searcher. You're looking for the 1 play point. You either want to search for, I think in my opinion, right now is search for Princess Faria or the Woodland Band from the Fairy Tale set. Other than that, you don't really want to search. You still need Evolve to search. Yeah, I think 1 play point other than those 2 cards, there's not much good target. To be honest, there isn't any good target that Forest fully depend on them. And even with the abilities to search Princess Faria and Woodland Band, it feels very weird because after this, right, after you evolve, it's gonna be a turn 3 or turn 4 where you would want to play on tempo. So those cards won't really be played even if you search for them. So this card, I think we'll see some play for Fairy Tale. But other than that, I don't think anybody will be playing it. I kind of don't like this card because why are you searching for a 1 play point? I'd rather you search for a Fairy Tale, 3-cost Fairy Tale card, such as so that you're able to play at least secure at least the next turn. But yeah, the 1 play points, there ain't any much good stuff. And it also top 4 cards of your deck. Yeah, you search at the top 4 cards of your deck. I think we will see some decks playing it, but I don't think it will be a 3-off. The base and the evolve. I think evolve, I think 1 only. I don't think it will be played at 2. I think the base you will see 2 at most. Okay, so Floral Breeze is the spell card that the Gabera Bear can search. And if you see Gabera Bear, you'll see this card being played. Other than that, it ain't much. It's 1 mana, you get to heal, you get to return something. That's about it. So this kind of is an alright card. The thing is that you can search, it can be searched out totally in your deck, and that's all. If you see Gerbera Bear being played, you'll see this card being played. That's about it. Woodland Band. So this card is a staple searcher for Forest because it can give the Fairy Tale counter. And yeah, this is just a staple in Fairy Tale. It can't run away, and it's a turn 1 play. So the best thing about this card is a turn 1 setup. And I feel that, turn 1 setup currently in the meta is very, very strong because a lot of decks skip their turn 1. And if you're able to set on turn 1, this is a free turn basically. So this card is going to be played in every Fairy Tale deck. And with that, that's all for the Forest. I'll see you guys next time.